This operation is based off of true events that took place during the fall of Afghanistan in 2021. I'll leave a link to the book down below. It's called August in Kabul. Today we are conducting an air-to-ground attack mission. The commander of Post Antenna Post has recently surrendered to the Taliban, and he's attempting to turn over military-grade equipment to them. There are 3 Humvees as well as an armored vehicle. For our fighting power, we do have an Mi-25 Hind. That was not the vehicle that was used during this operation. Unfortunately, I cannot equip the Mi-17s with rocket pods. We also have a propeller-driven aircraft, a Super Tucano, armed with 500-pound bombs. In the book, it states that 250-pound bombs, but we work with what we have. Anyway, we are going to conduct an air-to-ground mission where we destroy these 3 Humvees as well, or these 2 Humvees as well as an armored vehicle. The Taliban are known to be in this tree line right here, constantly firing on our soldiers who have recently surrendered and are turning over all of their military equipment. So, the commander has been requesting air support for several weeks now, and we're finally going to give it to him. Unfortunately, it's going to be on friendly targets. Our Mi-25 Hind, we're going to just call it an Mi-17, is going to be closing in on the targets first. We're going to turn off our God's Eye view, and everything is going to go away. I'm not sure if you can target friendly targets in CMO. I'm going to get on the Discord and figure that out. So this Mi-17, we're just going to call it an Mi-17, had rocket pods, and it effectively launched an offensive on Outpost Antenna or Antenna Post. And then we have the Super Tucano, which has 2 500-pound bombs, and we're going to use those to blow up these Humvees. Our Hind, or Mi-17, is going to make the initial spot for us if he gets there first. We're going to adjust his speed and his throttle. We want him moving at military speed, and he can just kind of chill at medium altitude. Once he gets closer to position and his rocket pods are within sight, we will then begin locking on one of the Humvees and destroying it. Once we identify all our targets, our propeller-driven aircraft or a Super Tucano is going to come in and blow up anything that's left. It was really difficult finding any information on antenna posts. All right, we're starting to make our initial spots now. We know they're over here, and we've marked them as Taliban now because that is what they are. Once we have our actual spots, we will route our Mi Hind or Mi-17 to blow up these Humvees. We continue to just identify them. He's moving at military speed. During the defense of antenna posts, we're just going to pause it right here. Several airdrops, or at least one airdrop, was made, and this was actually a battle-hardened commander, I believe, of 33 years, actually commanding this outpost for a long time, and he requested air support over several weeks and was never getting it. So he finally surrendered, and by the time he surrendered, the air support was finally coming in. Obviously, it was maybe he called it in. We don't really have an idea. We're going to keep our speed up, our altitude up. We've been attacked from this position before. We're going to send our aircraft a bit wide initially, and as our helo comes in for its first pass, we're going to begin marking targets for that helo. So let's do our initial mark. He's going to destroy one Humvee right here. We're going to designate at least enough rockets to destroy it. So we're going to say a solid 15 in that salvo. We're going to assign it. As he banks in, he's going to easily destroy that. So let's replot his course. And remember, he needs to be moving quick. We're going to pause one more time. We're going to click on this aircraft. We're going to bring him close this way. We're going to actually drop his altitude because I'd imagine he doesn't have any sort of, let's go ground level. Right around there. And we're just going to drop some bombs on these other 2 Humvees and ensure that they don't get turned over to the Taliban. We don't want to arm our enemies. A major offensive has been going on this whole time, and we want to ensure that we easily destroy these. All right, so let's hit play. Let's actually pause real quick. Sorry about that. Let's bring up our 3D view. Okay, I apologize about that. Apparently there was an update. Oh, I reinstalled CMO. So no 3D view today. All right, there go our 15 rocket salvo. And 1 Humvee's down. That mission is complete. We're going to route him back to Kabul in the international airport. Remember, he needs to maintain his speed and altitude. He's received tons of air-to-ground fire this whole time, every time they've come out here. The next up is we're going to descend a little bit. We're going to bring this Super Tucano around, and we're going to blow up these last 2 vehicles with our 500-pound bombs. So let's see if we can get him on target. It's a bit tricky. I would like for him to turn a bit sharper. He does have a propeller driven. We can take his speed. He's at cruise. I'm not overly concerned about this guy. He just controls like absolutely terribly. I figured he could bank much better. Like what? There we go. Let's get a good little bank going, guy. I wonder how the AI is with this vehicle. All right, he's finally banking, probably trying to maintain airspeed, maintain lift, 240 degrees, wide banks. That's something we need to remember when we bring this aircraft in next time. So the Taliban would always assault from these tree lines. They had fixed mortar positions, and this is going to be a long series where we talk about Afghanistan and how the fall of it happened, the Doha Agreement, and I really want you guys to stick around. We're going to talk about Camp Eagle, the AC-130 in this future series, and it's going to be so much fun. This Super Tucano is turning around, still at 7,000 feet. I would like for him to descend a bit more. As he goes down 5,000, I think is fair, because this is going to be real difficult to do. We're going right over this target now. We have 2 bombs away. We're at 7,000, continuing to descend. Let's slow his out. Let's slow his speed down to loiter. 220 knots. We want our 500-pound bombs to hit. 7,000 feet, still descending, absolutely descending. Watch, we're going to do bombs away, and it's going to be absolutely magnificent. We're going to destroy these 2 armored vehicles, and the Taliban is not going to get them, and it's going to be an absolute blast. Unfortunately, these 250-pound bombs that they used during this offensive could have been used on the Taliban fighting positions, but unfortunately, none were available, and so the Taliban were able to harass and encircle antenna posts and destroy everyone that was there, or at least force them to surrender. Outstanding. That was a perfect 7,000 feet direct hits. Actually, that one's a bit off. Destroyed all 3 Humvees. There'll be no turning over of military equipment in this situation. That's a fantastic airstrike, air-to-ground mission conducted by the Afghan National Army or the Afghan Air Force. I mean, with that sort of precision that they had, they easily could have destroyed the Taliban in the mortar positions over here on this tree line and ensured that the antenna post didn't fall at all, but that's just not something that happened, and that is based off of true events. That's the actual operation that took place. 3 armored vehicles were destroyed. These were the weapon systems that they used. 250-pound bombs, Super Tucano, and an Mi-17, not a 25, armed with rocket pods. And just like that, we've secured the future of Kabul. All right, guys, peace.